Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, welcome. Hope you all doing great. Now we are continuing in our Excel series. Today I want to start with selecting a range of cells. Now, making a selection in Excel is a very common task. You need to make selection, which is also known as a range, and you want to carry out an action on multiple cells. Now there are a few different ways to make a selection, and it's good you know all of them, so that whichever one is more convenient for you, you can use when appropriate. Now you can see this range I have here. Looking at the range around this side, if I want to make a selection, like we said, there are a few ways we can actually make a selection. Now if I make this selection, for example, you can all see that selection has a dark border around it. You refer to a range by specifying upper left and bottom right cell separated by a column. So I actually refer to selection by referring to the upper left and then the bottom right cell separated by a column. So for example, looking at this range I selected, this range I refer to as cell. I have selected every cell between cell B3 colon D8. That's how we refer to selections. Now in a selection, the cell with the white background is the active cell. So for example, this cell B3 that has my 4000 in it, you can see that is referred to as active cell. All selections display the active cell this way. So whenever I make a selection, active cell is displayed that way. Now let's look at a few ways we can actually make selections in Excel. First way is using our mouse. So to make a selection, first way, click on the first cell. So I click on the first cell, then drag over all the cells you want to select. That's obvious. That's one of the most common ways to make a selection in a cell. Another way we can do that is by clicking on the first cell in the selection, then holding down the shift button on your keyboard, and clicking the last cell in the selection. That's the second way. I do it again, clicking on the first cell, pressing down shift on your keyboard, and clicking the last cell. That will make up your selection. That's one way. One other way to make a selection in Excel. The third way, click on the first cell, hold down shift, and then I use my arrow keys, my directional arrow keys. So in this way, I'm moving right because I want to move right, go like so. And then I come down, 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 down. Do it again. Go to my first cell using my directional arrows, hold down my shift button, use my directional arrows. So in this situation, I want to move right. I press the right key, I press it again. Now I want to go down, press down arrow key, down, 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 down. So these are a few ways we can actually make selections in Excel. Now, when you have a range selected, all the commands available in the formatting toolbar will affect the selected cells. Now, when you have a range selected, all the commands available in the formatting toolbar will affect the selected cells. Let's say, for example, I want to give them the comma style. All the cells that have been selected in this, it affects everything that has been selected. So any of the formatting options here, if I want to make it bold or whatsoever, I want to add color, font color, like so. So that's the essence of making selections in Excel. That's one of the reasons why we actually make selections in Excel. So these are a few ways we can actually make selections in Excel. Now, to select a range, you can hit any directional arrow or click with your mouse in any cell. If you want to select, just like so. Yes. Or click in any of the cells. That cancels selection. So that's how we make selections in Excel, selecting a range of cells. Now let's move on to the next item. We want to see how we can make multiple ranges. Select multiple ranges, selecting multiple ranges. Like you can see here in the worksheet, I have this column, this column, this column, and then I have this column also populated, and this column also populated. So if I want to select all the ranges here, let's see how we can actually do that. So the first thing to do, use any of the previous ways we just discussed to select the first range. Let's see, for example, now I want to select this column. If I do this using my mouse, just drag down, or I will discussed it before. Click first, then hold down shift and click on the last. Okay, like so. Next thing, now if I want to select this, assuming this is a different range, it's a different range, it's a different range. So to do that, this time around, I go and press Control, hold Control down, and I click like so, and I can make selection. So as long as I'm holding down Control, you can keep on making other non-adjacent selections. You can add more non-adjacent selections as long as I keep holding down Control. So I can come here, so this selection, go down like so. That's how we make multiple selections in Excel. So like we said earlier on, you use any of the first three ways we described. Select the first range and then hold down Control and use your mouse to select more non-adjacent selections, to make more non-adjacent selections. That's that for selecting a range of cells. Selecting a range of cells. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much.